Good evening, and welcome to the 73rd Annual DuBois Area High School Athletic Awards Program. Tonight, we are here to honor our student athletes and our coaches who have excelled in their respective sports. We are also here to honor individuals who have supported our athletic programs. At this time, I'm proud to introduce the DuBois Area High School Director of Athletics, Mr. Chuck Farah.
Thank you, Mr. Weible, and thank you to our coaches and other presenters who are able to make it here tonight to honor our hardworking student athletes, coaches, and other supporters of our athletic programs. DuBois Area School District offers its students an athletic program with 24 varsity-level sports. During this current school year, we had nearly 700 individual student athletes participating in grades 7 through 12, with many of those participating in 2 and 3 sports. There were also more than 700 scheduled events during the school year. To supervise these teams, the district hires 74 coaches with an additional 60-plus individuals volunteering their time to help. Success in athletics can be evaluated in many ways. Teams and athletes set goals each season. Many reach their goals. Some fail short, and others exceed expectations. Sportsmanship, teamwork, discipline, leadership skills, camaraderie, responsibility, commitment, time management, and perseverance are all life lessons learned through the participation in athletic programs. All of these are examples and are part of our school district's athletic programs. We make it a point to convey to all our athletes and coaches that they are representing the DuBois Area School District, surrounding communities, their families, and themselves. They have all done a wonderful job, and I'd like to congratulate them for an outstanding year. Of our 18 varsity sports that had seasons this year, 14 of them had winning records. 15 in total participated in the postseason. Some of the highlights this year: the school year began with another successful fall season. Some of those highlights of the fall included a third straight District 9 volleyball title for the girls team, 4 state qualifiers from our cross-country teams, freshman Julia Worths, sophomores A.C. Deemer, Joey Fordor, and junior McClellan Jaramillo. We also had 2 all-state selections once again, with Chase Houston in football and Sydney Cashock in girls volleyball. In golf, Caleb Hand advanced to the PIAA Western Regional, and many other of our athletes earned all-district and all-league honors. Again, through the winter, we sent representatives in every varsity sport to the postseason. The highlight of the winter season would have to begin, once again, our wrestling team and our rifle team. Senior Ed Scott became the school's first ever 2-time state champion when he won the 152-pound weight class at the AAA state championships. He also became the school's all-time winningest wrestler this season. Teammate Junior Chandler Ho came back for the state championships with an 8th place medal. Our rifle team finished second at states in both the 3-position small bore and air rifle championships. Individually, senior Alex Long was second overall in the state and air rifle championships. The boys swim team sent District 9 champ junior Tucker Fenstermacher, along with junior Isaac Wayne, sophomore Colton Guisdala, and senior Logan Wells to the state meet at Bucknell University. Our boys and girls basketball teams both reached the postseason in the same year for the 2nd straight season. The boys' 19 wins this year was the most of the program's history since the 1999-2000 season. Our gymnastics team had a medal winner at their state championships as Savannah Morelli placed 2nd in the vault and 3rd on an even bars in the bronze division at the PA Classic. And unfortunately, our spring season wasn't able to take place due to this pandemic, but we were looking forward to some big things from our baseball, softball, track and field, boys tennis, and boys volleyball teams this season. At this time, we will begin our presentations of our Student Athlete MVP Awards. We've asked our coaches to provide a brief presentation on their outstanding student athletes, and we'll present them with a plaque at a later time. We'll begin the awards with our female athletes this year. And first up will be girls basketball and head coach Keith Kreiner.
Can I move this up? Okay. Thank you. I want to appreciate everybody for coming here today. I was going to start off by thanking the administration, which I know they're not really here today, but a lot of what they do provides a lot for our sport teams, and that gives us a lot of support throughout the year, so I wanted to thank them, especially for letting us have this today. With everything that's going on in the world right now, there's definitely a lot of challenging times we are facing, and our school board and administration From continuing our students' education with homeschooling opportunities to providing meals for those in need, to preparing to open the doors in the fall, our leaders are doing a great job, so I wanted to thank them and let them know that they are appreciated. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Chuck Farah, our AD. He is a tireless worker in what he does, and his efforts to keep all of us informed of everything that's going on with the high school sports and our teams is undying. He's also kept us updated on the decisions being made by the PIAA, and that is very important as well. Now on to the basketball team. This past season was a big challenge for us and our team. We came into the season without any seniors on the roster. We had no idea what to expect out of the season. We were lucky enough to once again make the playoffs, and we did win another playoff game. That's 2 in 2 years. And the big reason why that happened was we relied heavily on the 4 juniors that were on our team for leadership. And all 4 juniors did do a fantastic job keeping the team focused and prepared throughout the season. But one in particular stepped up her commitment to the team and became a force to push the team forward. This young lady absolutely loves the game of basketball. Basketball is her passion. She plays AAU in the off season, usually for 1, 2, possibly even 3 teams a year. She attends not only team camp with us, but she also attends various other camps on her own. I know she's been to point guard camp and a few other ones, but she's constantly looking for ways to improve her game. If she's not at a camp, you can find her at the YMCA shooting around or involved in a pickup game while she's there. A lot of the times she plays with the boys because there's no girls there. Excuse me. And if she's not at any of those places, you can go to her house and you'll find her outside behind her house on the court that she made her dad make for her so she could constantly be having a basketball in her hands. She stays out there until her hands go numb on the cold days or until she just gets too tired and she drags her butt into the house. She's constantly working to improve her game. And if she's not playing, she's watching a game on TV or she's watching one of our games on Huddle because she's constantly trying to improve herself so she can improve the team. This past year, she played almost every minute of every game. Now think about that. Basketball is a upbeat, fast-paced sport which is very physical, and she averaged almost 31 and a half minutes a game. She was such an intense competitor, she didn't want to come off of the floor even when she was hurt. That alone is amazing, but she did much more than just stay on the court. She led the team in the following categories. Scoring almost 12 points a game. Her free throw percentage was 75% highest on the team. She led the team in 3-point shots made. She also led the team in assists and in steals. She made the District 9 All-Star team, and her persistence and hard work has paid off, and I do not see her slowing down one bit. I am looking forward to watching her play next season and see what else that she can accomplish. Without further ado, I would like to congratulate this year's Girls Varsity Basketball MVP, Abby Geyer. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Kreiner, and congratulations to Abby Geyer. Next up, we'll have cheerleading. Both Sideline and our competition spirit squad will be presented by Coach Taylor Shaw.
I would like to thank all of the coaches for their support of all these athletes, especially during this tough time. Also, I'd like to thank Chuck and Kim for all their help they provide throughout all the seasons, and the administration for their continued support. This athlete came to us during her senior year to give sideline cheerleading a try. She showed her dedication not only to us, but also to the band and her schoolwork. She was able to juggle 2 sports at once and always did an amazing job at all that she put her mind to. Being one of her coaches for 2 seasons, she is the dream athlete to coach. She always kept a positive mindset and was at every practice and game giving 100% effort. She was constantly practicing and always wanting to improve and better herself. This is the athlete that every coach wants to have on their team and that every coach hates to see go, but I know she will continue to succeed in all of her future plans. We would like to thank this athlete for all of her dedication and positivity that she brings with her everywhere she goes. This year's MVP for sideline cheerleading is Zeta Forsyth. And then for Spirit Cheer, when you think of the most valuable player, you think of the athlete that you never want to see go and the one that will be difficult to replace. This athlete's talents were used in many aspects of the routine, and her shoes will be difficult to fill. She was one of the girls on the mat that never let another girl hit the floor and pushed herself to her limits to help better the team. When attempting new skills, she would always volunteer to try it first and would not stop until they got it right. She would always be watching her teammates and offering advice to try to help them improve both their individual skills and what would be best to improve the team. It was a joy to watch her perform, and I had the pleasure to coach her for her last 2 years on the team. We hate to say goodbye to this athlete, but we know she will succeed as she goes on through life. This year's MVP for competition cheerleading is Madison Ho.
Thank you, Taylor, and congratulations to Zeta and Maddie. Next up will be girls cross country and head coach Corey Yaris.
Thank you, Mr. Farrar. Move this here, sorry. Like the coaches before me, I do want to thank the administration, PIAA, and everyone involved in athletics for keeping us so well informed about the safety of our programs and the safety of our student athletes. I have many eager runners contacting me on a daily basis. Coach, when can we run? When can we go out? It would give me no greater pleasure than to be out there with them right now, but I know we all have to abide by PIAA's regulations for that. So I'm just thankful for the weekly updates, and I'm hoping sometime that we can all get out on the trail together. Welcome, parents and students. Tonight I have the privilege of honoring the MVP for both girls and boys cross country. As some of you may know, this is a year of many firsts, first of which being my role as a varsity cross country coach. I started out at the middle school coaching under the tutelage of Mr. Deemer, and with him stepping out to higher pursuits, I had the privilege and honor of coming into this position. Needless to say, I was very nervous following in the shadows of Coach Sullivan, Coach Deemer, Coach Martin, all those before me. I really feel that they've paved the road for a fantastic program. So to honor these two student athletes tonight is really a great pleasure. Finding an MVP for cross country is a very unique task. They all come out to run the same distance. They all put in the same work. So to select an MVP is really based on statistics, but I have to say tonight that every member of my cross country squad comes out every day with the same heart, the same dedication, and the same commitment to excellence in our program, and I feel that's why we've had such a wonderful season this year. To highlight some of this female athlete's achievements, you've probably seen this athlete many times before out running. Running is her passion. She's been born and raised in a family of runners, and she continues on that legacy. I had the privilege of coaching this female athlete 2 years ago at the middle school, and this young lady actually brought home the 2018 District 9 Girls Middle School Championship, meaning she was the #1 runner in District 9 at the middle school level. So, of course, bringing her up to the varsity level was a great pleasure, and she did not disappoint. This young lady placed first in 9 out of our 10 regular season meets, the only absence coming from an illness on our first home meet, so I can only imagine how she would have performed. Another one of our firsts was the course, as I said before. We now have our course located here at the middle school. It is very challenging. What some refer in D9 is the most difficult course in D9, so this student athlete practiced on some of the most difficult terrain and performed as such. She was a District 6 district qualifier as well as a District 6 state qualifier. Coming into this program as a freshman, you can only imagine the surprise of some of my upperclassmen, but that's why I feel that this young athlete is such an MVP. She pulled up those upperclassmen to perform in the attitude, in the classroom, and on the field. Some of her highlights include a time of 19 minutes and 51 seconds at the District 6 Championships in Big Valley at the end of October. She placed 5th out of 42 runners, besting some of the best in D6, including State College and the area of Center County. Next was a 1956 at Big Valley Invitational at the beginning of our season. She placed 8th out of 148 female runners. Following with a 2035 at Sharpsville Blue Devil Invitational, 27th out of 278 runners. And the coup de grace was her freshman performance at the PIAA Cross Country Championships in Hershey, PA on November 2nd, 2019, with a time of 20 minutes, 43 seconds. She placed 129th out of 227 runners. I could go on and on about this athlete all night, but I know we're pressed for time. Running is just a small portion of this student's excellence. She's also involved in track and field, theater, instrumental and vocal performing arts, as well as poetry. It is my distinct pleasure and my honor to continue to coach this student athlete over the next 3 years. It is my pleasure to introduce the MVP for girls cross country, Julia Worths.
Thank you, Corey, and congratulations to Julia once again. Next up is girls golf and head coach Larry Salone.
So I really didn't prepare anything. I just wanted to kind of tell you guys some stories and give some people some credit where it's due. I've always been for a few years on the other side of the desk from Chucky. This is the first time I've had to work for him and see what he really does. And we all owe him a lot, because I'm telling you, I was shocked at how much work he is. How many times I had to call him and say, I don't know what's going on, help me. So I think we all owe a big round of applause to Chucky. We couldn't do this without him. And the other person was sneaking out. Where's Kim? Kim's back there. Kim's the next best thing to Chucky as far as I know. It's a lot of times, if I can't find Chucky, Kim, help me, got it. So as a first-year coach, I really appreciate those two. I think we all do. So I'd like to say thank you to Kim. Okay, the final grown-up I have to say thank you to is Barry Abbott. I remember a year ago, Barry Abbott lives a few doors down from me, and he walked up to my house and tried to recruit my daughter to play golf because he didn't have a team. He only had 2 players. And my daughter agreed to play, and she went out and recruited another classmate, freshman, to play. And next thing you know, Barry had 4 and we had a team. And so Barry retired, and he asked me to do it, and graciously you guys let me do this. And we had 9 last year. We had a junior, 4 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. And I got to admit, I used to coach a lot of basketball. I never had more fun in my life than with these girls. The trips in the van for away trips were woohoo. I mean, I never saw it. Barry did a fantastic job of building this program. So again, thank him for allowing me to experience these girls. If we get to the MVP, we'll get there through a little bit of a story. I never knew what girls golf was going to be like. We had a home match, and we play almost all the teams at every match. So there was a huge rattlesnake out on the #1 fairway at Treasure Lake. The Brookville girls volunteered to go out and beat it to death. We had to stop that. And we have our arch enemies, Punxsutawney. Punxsutawney has not lost a match in 2 or 3 years now. And so we didn't actually beat, the way they score matches is strange, but halfway through the season, we tied them. And that was a big woohoo for our girls. They were just so happy that they tied Punxsutawney. At Ridgeway, we actually outscored them. And it was the first time they've been outscored in 3 years. Didn't count technically as a win, but the girls at the end of the season set a goal that they're going to take Punxsutawney down this year in a real match and score the win. and they're going to beat Bradford for the District 9 championship. They have promised me that. I can't wait for this to happen this year. I know they've been playing golf in the snow on their own, which they're allowed to do since the golf course has opened up. I've never seen a more dedicated group and a more fun group than these girls are. I mean, there's terrible stories I could tell you, but we're not going to go there. So I'm hoping we pick up a few more freshmen this year and maybe some other people. We will probably have 1 senior, 4 juniors, and 4 sophomores this year, and they're on a mission, and I am so happy for them. Our MVP. I could have had our top 5 golfers, which is the junior, 3 of the sophomores, and 1 of the freshmen. At any given match, they were the low scorer. So I thought, I can't judge an MVP by just low score, because that isn't the whole thing. Otherwise, you're just operating in a vacuum, hitting a golf ball around. Instead, I took them as a team and said, who is kind of like the key, the linchpin, the person that makes it all go around and all come together? And there was no doubt about it, the one that was always the ringleader in the van, the ringleader on the courses. I found her in Brockway in the swamp getting frogs out during the match, which I was like, you know, Sarah, what are you doing? She goes, look at the frog. I said, no, get the frog away. You got to hit the ball. We just had a great time, and she was always at the center of everything. And she is probably our best consistent golfer. So our MVP this year was Sarah Henniger.
Thank you, Larry, and congratulations to Sarah. Next up is gymnastics and Coach Deb Fennell.
First, I'd like to thank the administration for their support. This year, we had an extremely small team of 8 girls that were eligible to compete. We started the season not being able to field a full lineup, but the girls worked hard to learn new events to help the team. The first meet, we did have a full lineup. Our score was 114.1. In gymnastics, your score goes up by 1/10 of a point. By the end of the season, our highest team score was 121.4. The team achieved this by working hard and adding more difficulty skills to their routines. We qualified for states as a team and had 6 out of our 8 gymnasts individually qualify. Every gymnast on the team strived to improve their scores. The gymnast that is receiving this award was an extremely hard worker and very persistent in improving her scores and learning new skills. Through encouragement and support, or spotting her for hundreds of flyways and her enduring numerous face plants and falls, her bar score improved from a 6.2 to a 7.7. Her all-around score went from a 28 to a 32. While not only working to improve and clean up her routine, she was extremely encouraging to all of her teammates, helping them improve their routines and learning new skills to up our team score to make states. At district, she placed 6th on beam, 4th on vault, 4th on bars, and 5th in the all-around competition. She also qualified in the bronze division at states, placing 2nd on vault and 3rd on the uneven bars. This year's award goes to sophomore Savannah Morelli.
Thank you, Deb, and congratulations to Savannah. I will be presenting the girls' soccer MVP this year. There are many leaders on a field, those that are like sergeants, orchestrating the play and vocally giving directives. And then there are those that not only lead through their ability, but through their example of how to play the game with poise, respect, and cooperation. Those qualities, too, do not go unnoticed by coaches, players, and officials, and serve to provide a standard for underclassmen to witness and hopefully model. This player is that kind of leader. She was the linchpin of the Lady Beavers defense this season. Plus, she's only a junior, so the team will have her for another year. This year's girls soccer MVP goes to junior Amanda Weber. Congratulations, Amanda. Next up, we have girls swimming and diving and head coach Mike Gressler.
Thank you, Chuck. I'd like to thank administration, Chuck, everybody else who helps out with athletics. I'd also like to thank all of our student athletes out there. You're going through a really difficult time right now, a lot of uncertainty, and none of us chose this. However, keep going on, keep going forward. Doing what you do will be judged by how we react. Okay? Trying times, but keep going forward, and good things will return, I can promise you. Our MVP on the swimming side, on the girls' swimming side, is somebody who is strong, dedicated, and determined. She does not quit. It's quite often, whenever we're going through heavy training sessions, a very difficult week of practices, where I will actually have to tell her that she needs to rest. She needs to take a break in order to come back and perform stronger the next day. Sometimes she listens, but usually she doesn't, and she keeps going anyway. One of the most exciting things for me this year from our MVP is seeing how she grew from last year. She was rather quiet in the past, but this past year she started to speak out more, was much more excited about swimming, and really started to have fun with the sport and not look at it as drudgery and just staring at a black line for many hours a day, which, to be honest, it is. But she found fun in the competition and challenging herself and in beating her goals and exceeding them in many cases. She was our top point earner this year, and in the 500-yard freestyle, she finished with the second fastest time in DuBois area history. It's exciting to see what she will do in the future. She has 2 more years, and our MVP on the girls' side is Miss Abby Dressler.
Thank you, Coach Gressler. Congratulations to Abby. Next up, we have girls tennis. Head coach Lori Sabatos was unable to make it tonight, so she did provide us a video of her presentation.
Hi, this is Coach Sabatos here, congratulating Jessie Askey on her MVP for girls tennis. Here's her hitting a shot, and here's her making it into the papers. She did an outstanding job for us this year. The team went 10-4. She went to district doubles. She played #1 singles and #1 doubles the entire season. She made it really fun this year. She worked hard. She had the right attitude, and we had a lot of fun, including the time that we played doubles. We did some doubles volleys in the grass because Punksy wouldn't allow us to practice on the court. But she did an outstanding job, and congratulations, Jessie.
Thank you, Lori, and congratulations to Jessica Askey on the MVP for girls tennis. Our final girls MVP award will be girls volleyball. Head coach Jason Gustafson was unable to make it tonight. He did provide me a narrative to read on his behalf. On behalf of myself, my assistant Brooks Carr, and volunteer assistant Dawn Mowry, I would like to start by thanking the administration and the athletic department for the opportunity to recognize the most outstanding player from the girls volleyball team for the 2019-20 season. Before I do, I would first like to offer my sincere congratulations to all the DuBois area high school senior athletes and to all the athletes being recognized tonight for an outstanding performer. They've demonstrated character and perseverance in an unprecedented year full of challenges that no one has ever had to face before. These student athletes made strong commitments to their sport and achieved so much this season and many seasons even before this one. I've personally followed several of these athletes outside the teams that I coach. Reading about them and in some cases seeing their successes in person was amazing and inspiring, and especially as a fan of DuBois Beaver athletics. This season, the Lady Beaver volleyball team graduated 9 seniors, by far the largest group we've seen in some time. They all led in different ways and contributed to the success of our team in one way or another. Several had outstanding seasons in their own right, but the one athlete who fittingly demonstrated determination, perseverance, and hard work throughout her career was this season's most outstanding player for a few reasons. She led her team with a vicious, competitive nature. Losing was not on her radar. I knew it, and so did the other players around her. She made a year-long commitment to improving her game, and it showed in her year-over-year. She challenged younger players each and every day the same way others challenge her as underclassmen. The This player first became a starter her sophomore year as a middle blocker and has been there ever since. The recognition started when she was named to the District 9 AAA All-Star team as a junior. As a senior, during her last competitive season as a Lady Beaver, she not only led her team, but she led the entire district in several statistical categories. She finished 2019 as a District 9 AAA and team leader in hitting percentage, kills per game, and total blocks. Her 59.6 hitting percentage ranked her among the top AAA players in the state of Pennsylvania. For her career, she finished with 721 total kills and a 57.1 hitting percentage. On the defensive side, over 3 stellar seasons, she tallied 232 total blocks. The reward for her efforts, she was named to the District 9 AAA All-Star team for the second time this year, the District 9 or D9Sports.com All District 9 first team, and culminated her career with a spot on the Pennsylvania Volleyball Coaches Association AAA All-State first team. As a team leader, this player helped guide the Lady Beavers to a third-place finish at the Northern Cambria Invitational, a second-place finish at Our Sacred Heart, and a third straight District 9 AAA team championship. She was a team captain during this 2019-20 season, where she led the team to an 18-2 record. As an outstanding Lady Beaver volleyball player, she will graduate having led her team to a combined total match record of 53 wins and only 7 losses. It is with great pride that I introduced you to the recipient of the 2019-20 Girls Volleyball Most Outstanding Player, Sydney Kashock. Thank you, Coach Gustus, for those words, and congratulations to Sydney. We'll move on to the boys' awards. First up will be basketball, the John Cleese Award, and head coach Dave Bennett.
I'd like to start off by thanking Chuck for all the support he gives all of us, all our coaches, all the athletes. I'd also like to thank Kim for all the day-to-day interaction and questions and follow-up and grade reports and how quickly and efficiently she gets us information, which is always so helpful. And obviously, I'd like to thank the rest of the administration for all your support that you give coaches and athletics. Another thing that I want to echo that some things have been brought up tonight is the student athletes. So the student athletes are in an unprecedented situation, and it's a challenging situation. There's unknowns. There's some level of uncertainty right now. And the one thing that I think is such an opportunity, because a lot of these situations, it's how we react to them. The opportunity is the people that are driven and the people that can inspire. This is a time where individuals can improve and attitude, leadership, work ethic can shine. And that will be seen later. That will be seen this fall, this winter, next spring, what we do now. It's such a unique opportunity, and I know that we'll have many of our student athletes that seize this opportunity. Now, going on to our basketball season. We had a very exciting basketball season this year. We had 19 wins, which are the most wins in the last 20 years. Along the way, we had some other accomplishments. We won the tip-off tournament championship. We won the holiday tournament championship, competed again in the playoffs. Now, with this season, we had a few, moving on to our MVP, that person had an incredible year for the second year in a row for our team MVP. Now, he swept all the local MVP and regional MVP awards. So he was District 9 Player of the Year, District 9 Defensive Player of the Year, D9Sports.com Player of the Year, Tri-County Sunday and Courier Player of the Year. So the on-court production, anyone that's been to our games, is undeniable. 16.6 points per game, 12.4 rebounds per game, 1.3 blocks per game. But to know this individual, you know it's a lot more about than the on-court production. So what I'll say about this person, in in conjunction with his on-court performance is what he brings off the court. Now, what he brings off the court is a blueprint for many of our underclassmen on how to sustain success. And part of that is leadership. When I say leadership, some people are vocal, some people lead by example. Okay, our MVP, I felt like, did both of these things. Now, some of the things that you say leading by example, I'll give you a couple quick stories. It was his burning passion to beat L County Catholic this year. For the last 2 years, that was one of his team goals that he brought up multiple times. So when we had a home game this year against L County Catholic, he dislocated his finger multiple times in the game. 2 or 3 of those times, his father had to run out of the stands, meet him out in the hallway, pop his finger back in, and he ran right back to the scorer's table to check in. It was a situation that he could not be stopped, that he was focused, he had a desire, he had a passion that he wanted that win more than anything else. And then, so you have that kind of example. You're shown example in that way, and that's a powerful thing. Another aspect of leadership, we started a Little Dribblers program this year. So we have an intramural program and a Little Dribblers program. Our intramural program was 3rd through 6th grade. Our Little Dribblers was kindergarten through 2nd grade. So some days the varsity came to help out at those sessions. Some days the JV came to help out at those sessions. When it was time for the JV to help out at the session and the varsity wasn't required, our team MVP was there every single time. And he felt that was important to be there with the young kids in the program. And then we had one time in the during the season that we had a voluntary shoot around. And it was very voluntary, just anybody that wanted to get in the gym and work out. And we had one individual that wasn't there that day for the voluntary shoot around. And our MVP went up to him and said, "You're a team captain. When we have anything, you're present. It's important for you to be present as well." So that's the kind of leadership that helps a program and transcends a program, and you really leave your mark that you were here and give people the blueprint on how to act at a high level and lead. So I can't say enough good things about this person. I love him to death. I'm going to miss him. And I'm just fortunate that I had an opportunity to coach him. Our team MVP is Chase Husted.
Thank you, Dave, and congratulations to Chase. Next up, we will have the boys cross country MVP and head coach Corey Yoris once again.
Thank you again, Mr. Farah. You know, being the rookie coach in the room here and listening to all of these wonderful coaches speak about their MVPs, I can see why we have over 700 student athletes in our program. I really admire all of the legacy that is in the room tonight, and I can only hope to continue in this program just as long as everyone else and continue to bring pride back to DuBois. Wins or losses, I always tell the runners, humble in defeat and humble in victory. So thank you to all the coaches that have already spoken before. It's really inspiring to hear all of you talk. I'm up here once again with the privilege and the honor of introducing our male MVP cross-country runner. This runner goes without saying. He's quiet, but he's fierce. He is a 2-time state qualifier. He is the cornerstone of my males running program. He helps me design training outlets and interval runs, and he's always giving me feedback and ideas on how to improve the program. And coach, can we just go another mile? He is an individual that independently led a post-practice group where they would go out and continue to run another 5 to 10 miles after I already put them through the ringers. So maybe that's an indication we need to improve the difficulty of our program. In any case, this runner just outperformed everybody on the field with his attitude, with his tenacity, just his humility. victory came very easily for this runner because of his natural athleticism, but always very humble in the victory, congratulating his fellow competitors, even on our team and the others. Built a lot of friendships with programs that we have some incredible rivalries with, which I was really impressed with, that he showed that we could build the bridges with our competitors because we're all runners. We love the sport of running, so no matter what jersey you wear, we're all on the same team. This student athlete placed first out of 9 out of our 10 regularly scheduled meets, first place on our boys squad. He was a 2-time D9 district qualifier, as well as I said before, a 2-time state qualifier. Some of this athlete's highlights, posting his best time at Sharpsville Invitational, 17 minutes and 22 seconds for a 5-kilometer run. That's 3.1 miles. He was 25th out of 331 runners. At District 9 Championships in Ridgeway, he came in with a 17:54, placing 8th out of 34 runners. That did qualify him for Hershey States. What he would call his slowest run, I don't even know if I can post this time yet. Maybe Mr. Koster-Gressel, you can help me get to this time. 19:11 at Big Valley, what he considered was a slow time, 65th out of 170 runners. And at Hershey, again, a 2-time returning, little sidebar story. There's nothing like driving 3 teenage runners to Hershey in a van by yourself. I got quite an interesting lesson in music, history, different types of music styles I like to listen to. Plus, I had to be a pseudo-parent and take the PlayStation 4 away from them at night so that they would get up next morning and run for state. So that was a great, interesting experience. I'm sure some of you coaches have had the privilege of transporting these kids. It's quite an interesting story. And boy, can these kids eat, Coach Farrer. Thank you for the expenditures on food because they used it. At states, he posted a 17 minutes and 39-second time, placing 84th out of 227 runners. Off the field or off the course, this student athlete enjoys volleyball, basketball, and playing video games seems to be one of his highlights right now. You'll see him running anywhere and everywhere, whether it's hot, cold, rain, snow, sleet, it doesn't matter. He loves the sport of running and he loves to share it with others. It is my distinct pleasure to announce the MVP male cross-country runner, McAllen Hadamio.
Thank you, Corey, once again, and congratulations to Mac. Next up, we have our 4 football awards we give out, and Coach Justin Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Farah. I'd first like to thank our school board, Mrs. Benton, Dr. Matson, for allowing me to coach these young men for the past 3 years. I would like to give a special thank you to Mr. Weible and Mr. Pasternak for being great bosses here at the high school and giving me the support that you've given me over the past 3 years. Definitely a special thank you to Mr. Farah and to Kim. I spent a lot of hours working with them, emailing at all hours of the day, trying to make this program work. You know, all coaches at the high school level have a special ability to organize a program and an opportunity to work with such great young men and women. Football is obviously the biggest of those, and there's so much that goes into running one of those programs. And without the support system that this district has in place, I wouldn't have been able to do that for 3 years. So thank you to all of you for all of your support. Our season obviously did not go as well as we had hoped, wins and losses. We finished with an official record of 1-9, but any player on this team, I say this to, I hope there's more than just the guys that I'm presenting the words to watching. You guys should be proud of the young men that you are and of the time and effort that you put into this and of the successes within the battle that you've experienced. You know, obviously we are measured on the scoreboard wins and losses at the end of the night. But when we look back at this season, it wasn't like we weren't in it. You know, I think back, there's highs and lows. I'll get to a high point and a low point here in a minute. But I look at games like the Erie game, 6A powerhouse Erie. It's a conglomeration of 3 inner-city Erie high schools all in one. It's a team that we have no business being on the field against. And at halftime, we were winning. There's some pride in that. no matter how that turned out at the end, to know what we brought to the table against that team. Clearfield, a powerhouse, local powerhouse, winning seasons for 30 years in a row. When you play Clearfield, you're in for a dogfight. And it was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. First game of the season. I believe, from the bottom of my heart, if we win that game, our season takes a completely different route. And we were right there. And we came up short, but there's something to be proud of in that. Oil City, which I would say is a high point of our season. For anyone who doesn't, closely follow the other teams in the area, Oil City finished the season 12-1, and they play a 9-game regular season. So they won 3 playoff games before eventually falling in the Western Finals. And we lost 55-54, 6 inches short of the win with 5 seconds left. And I'm so proud of our guys for the way that they responded, because nobody gave us a chance against Oil City. Nobody beat them all year until December. And our guys rose to the challenge, and they battled back all night long. Nobody scored more than 33 points on Oil City all year until their loss, and we scored 54. That's a testament to our guys and to how they responded to adversity. And if I would say one thing just to kind of sidetrack, obviously with everything that's going on in the world right now, with COVID-19, and there's so much adversity. There are families who can't work and who are looking for ways to make ends meet. Then obviously you go to the grocery store and the shelves are empty and you're trying to find things, and there's so much adversity. And life is all about how we respond to that adversity. Because I'd love to meet the person who went through life with no adversity. I wouldn't know what that's like. None of us would. So when you encounter that, it's that song, I get knocked down, but I get up again. How do you respond to that adversity? And I think what's going on in the world right now is so much bigger than high school sports. But what we do as coaches and as teachers, I think helps prepare our young men and women to respond to that adversity in life. So hopefully when they move on, they're able to just take this head on and, I got this, what's next? It's all good. So to get into our awards here, our first award is the Pete Mothy Award. It goes to an outstanding back or receiver. Our recipient of this award has actually already been mentioned tonight. He's already taken home some hardware. He's a 2-time All-State player in football, and that doesn't happen often. That's a testament just to his ability and to his drive and his work ethic. So much more than just an athlete, though. A 4.0 student, honors classes, and he just is the most outstanding young man that you could ever ask to coach and to be around. He finished the season second on our team in receptions and in receiving yards, and did all of that when everybody on our schedule said, we're doubling him. He's an all-state player. He's 6'8". We have to stop that kid. To get that much attention and to still respond the way he did and perform the way that he did, it says a lot. And obviously being already named an MVP of another sport, it shows how well-rounded he is as well. I look forward to seeing what he does on the hardwood in college. Our recipient of the Pete Mothy Back and Receiver Award is Chase Husted. Congratulations, Chase. Okay, our next award, again, an outstanding back receiver, also a senior. And I guess if there was a yin and a yang to our receiving core this year, this would be it in so many ways. The first obvious one, if you saw the two of them, is that one is 6'8" and one is shorter than 5'8". So they were polar opposites as far as a stature is concerned. But as far as young men and the work that they put in and the drive and determination, they couldn't be more alike. I made a joke early in the off season. We were at a spring workout, and one of our coaches was going over a concept, and I just kind of nudged him and I said, nobody cares who you are this year. And he kind of looked at me funny, and I said, that's great, because they're all geared up to stop Chase. And I can't wait when you surprise them, because they have no idea the work you've put in, and they have no idea what's coming. And it was one of those things you can't say to every kid, but we had a mutual understanding that he knew where I was coming from. And boy, did he come out of a cannon week one. You know, we played at Clearfield, and again, I said 3-point game, fourth quarter, local powerhouse, big rivalry game. He led our team with over 150 receiving yards. He didn't have 150 receiving yards his entire junior year. And I told him after the game, I said, if they didn't know who you were, they do now. You know, we're going to see who they can double when you're both on the field. He finished the season. He was our team's leader in receiving yards. He was also our team's leading scorer. He's going to be playing college football at Teal College. And, you know, I have to tell you, nobody works harder. And everything that he's got, he's earned it. And I can't wait to see what he does for the next 4 years, because I know he's up for the challenge. Definitely an unsung hero for our team. And our Pete Mothy Award winner, Nick DeLulo. Congratulations, Nick. Our next award is the Frank Fuller Outstanding Lineman Award. There are a lot of underlying, you know, unwritten rules in football, but maybe the most basic, the most important rule of the game is that it's won and lost in the trenches. You can't do anything without a good line on offense or defense, and those guys never get the headlines. They never get the recognition. You know, you have to be a true fan of the game to look and point out a lineman and say, wow, look what that guy's doing. Everybody knows who threw the touchdowns and who made the interceptions and who got the sack. But these guys, that's who wins and loses the game for you. And this individual in particular, he's a junior. He looked like a junior when he was in 6th grade. I mean, I've never seen an individual who seemed more grown up and mature at a younger age. We moved him up as a freshman. It was time. And unfortunately, he suffered an injury, and it cut his season short. And we said, you know, it's all right. We've got 3 more years of him. And then he started for us as a sophomore, and partway through the season, he suffered a foot injury. And you keep going to the well, but we said, this is all right. We have 2 more years of him once we get him healthy. You know, it just seems like he's been around our program forever. Here I am presenting him an award, and he's coming back next year again. We were at General McLean, the 2nd game of the year, and we're in a dogfight, 7-point game, 4th quarter. And our coaches came down at halftime with the video on the iPad, the system that we had, and they said, you just have to see this. Run right. You can't imagine what Bobby is doing to these kids. And you couldn't. It's so hard to see with 22 bodies flying around from field level. And we looked in the locker room at halftime and said, oh my goodness, hey guys, come check this out. We're running right. And he manhandled, the kids are his age, but the time that he put in the weight room and just the time he puts in on the farm, there's a lot to say for farm strength. I'm a farm boy, so got a soft spot in my heart there. But he works so hard and tirelessly, and he loves the game of football. And I can't wait to see what he does again next year. He's definitely outstanding in every way. The Frank Fuller Award winner is Bobby Kennis. Congratulations, Bobby. Our next award is the Sam Valentine Defensive MVP Award. There are so many ways to be valuable to a team. Obviously, you can look at leadership. You can look at what they do on the field, even different facets within the game that you can be valuable to your team. But obviously on defense in football, tackling the guy with the ball on the other team that's important. That's the only way to stop the play. And when it comes to tackling, our defensive MVP definitely had a nose for the football. Obviously at times we gave up some points. We struggled at times on defense, but it certainly wasn't for a lack of effort. And this individual in particular, he showed up every day. He worked hard. He was an unspoken, unvocal leader, led by example for our defense. I talked about tackles. He made 24 tackles in one game. That doesn't happen at any level, let alone a high school football game. 24 tackles in one night is impressive, and you don't get there by accident. The time that he put in studying film and diagnosing plays and knowing what his reads were, and then obviously getting there and dragging guys to the ground. He did miss a game due to an injury. So in a 9-game season, he had 100 tackles. Again, that's a milestone. When you talk football, there are certain numbers that stand out. And 100 tackles, that's impressive. That doesn't always happen. Very impressed with this young man. He played hard for us. He's a senior. He'll be missed. Another outstanding student. That's kind of a theme for this year's class. A lot of outstanding student athletes, both in the classroom and on the field. But again, great guy to coach, and very proud to have coached him. The Sam Valentine Defensive MVP Award goes to Lance Henniger. Congratulations, Lance. And last but not least, our Don Gilbert Team MVP Award. I kind of held off on this, but when I said highs and lows, every season has highs and low points. The Oil City game definitely was a high point for us. I don't think I'm alone in pinpointing that there was a definite low point to the season. So we're hosting Fort LaBeouf, Week 6 game. Everybody's going to know who this is, but quarterback drops back, nobody open, takes off running, and he can run. A lot of quarterbacks are statues in the pocket. They're not, but he's an all-around athlete, and we encouraged him, if you don't find anything, take off. And he took off. He had been nursing a shoulder injury. He got tackled going out of bounds on our sideline, and he didn't get up. And my immediate thought was, oh no, that shoulder. The shoulder injury for a guy who has to throw the ball is obviously bad. And I thought, get up. You got to get up. He's not getting up. And you try not to have regrets in life, but I have a little bit of a regret here because the first time in 3 years that I wasn't kneeling next to my injured player, holding his hand and giving him words of encouragement was this moment. And I wish I could take that back. But he went down, and he's your team MVP. He's the quarterback of your offense. You're in a dogfight game. You're going in to score. You're at about the 15-yard line. And your coaches are saying on the headset, are we going to put the freshman in this game, or are we going to move somebody? And as a head coach, you have a decision to make. Your team has to get ready when this injury timeout's over. And the freshman wasn't ready. Coach, but we didn't want to move somebody from another position. This is one of those cases where as a coach, you always prepare. But you don't expect it to happen. Realistically, we all know that. No matter how much you prepare for this bad moment, you also hope that it's not going to happen, and you don't have the answer when it does. So we moved somebody. And I called him over and I said, here's what we're doing. You're going to quarterback. I'm telling you the play we're running. I'm telling you who to throw the ball to. You guys need to rally around this. We got to score. We ran the play. We scored on the first play. And I immediately left for underneath the stadium, underneath Mansell, the old locker rooms. Trainer Jim, this athlete, and myself spent about 5 minutes under the stadium trying to diagnose what was wrong. Little did I know that I missed a kick return for a touchdown. I missed our team deflate when they saw their MVP go down. They knew it was bad. I didn't see any of this happen because I left to go take care of him. Definitely a low point in our season from my standpoint and in a lot of people's eyes. When you lose your leader, when you know that he's down and it's bad, it's hard to come back from that right away. And I felt so bad for him. It wasn't a shoulder at all. It was a knee injury, and it was bad. Multiple ligaments torn. Nobody put more time and effort into becoming a good leader and a good football player than this individual. He never missed a workout. He never missed a practice. He traveled all summer to visit colleges, but scheduled them around our 7-on-7s and around our morning practices. He said, Coach, I won't miss. This is our senior year, and I want this. And that says so much. When you're a 17, 18-year-old young man, there's so many temptations going on to just go do something else. Go hang out with your friends. Go hang with your girlfriend. Go to the movies. Go do something else that's not this. And he never missed. But what's more impressive? He never missed after the injury either. He came to practice every day and helped me coach. We moved that freshman into the lineup, and he stood next to the freshman every day and tried to teach him, tried to share with him what he had learned. He came to Brookville on senior night. The doctors said, don't go to Brookville on senior night. If somebody bumps into you, it could be bad. He said, I'll stay back. I'm not missing this. This is our night. This is our senior night. These are my guys. He came to Brookville. He stood on the sidelines for as long as he was allowed to before mom and dad said, go home. We're biting our nails off worrying about you getting hit. He didn't want to go. If that's not a leader, I don't know what is. Another great student athlete, both in the classroom and on the field. He's going to be continuing his career at Teal College as well. He's been rehabbing. I just talked to him this week, and 2 thumbs up on the rehab. He's excited to get on the field. Our MVP, Donville Gilbert MVP award winner is quarterback Alex Kavaliak. Congratulations, Kavak.
Thank you, Coach Marshall, and congratulations to all our football award winners. Next up, we have the boys golf and head coach Luke Bundy.
This year's boys golf MVP is cool, calm, and steady. Never shows a lot of emotion, and nothing personified that more than when he was on the green and qualified for the regional tournament to sink the final putt he needed to. I'm standing there with the Bradford coach. He's like, we were out scoring, so we didn't know. He said, hey, I heard this is tied. And my guy, our guy, makes a putt and gives a little Tiger Woods fist pump. And I looked at the Bradford coach and said, we won. He goes, how do you know that? I said, because our guy shows no emotion, whether he's having a bad round or a good round. But the fist pump showed me that, he sealed it up. He was not only a great golfer, because you got to be a great golfer if you're going to be the MVP. His senior leadership was unmatched, not only for the other golfers on the team, but for myself being the first year head coach in the golf team. He showed me the ropes a little bit and helped me out. He will be sadly missed, but I'm sure he will continue his golfing career. I've been trying to push him to try to golf in college. He was unsure, into the winter time, but I think he would make a great college golfer, and more importantly, he'll make a great young man someday, and he will definitely be very successful. So our boys golf MVP is Caleb Hand.
Thank you, Coach Bundy, and congratulations to Caleb. Next up is Rifle and Coach Joanne Pence.
Good evening. I'd also like to thank Chuck, Kim, the administration, school board for the support of the rifle team. Without that support, we certainly would not have the success that we've been having. I'd like to also congratulate all the young men and women who have been recognized tonight for their achievements. This year's, our rifle team is a co-ed team. So this year's co-ed rifle team MVP is a young man. He's a senior and a 4-year letterman. He started shooting at our club level when he was in, I believe, 7th grade. He had spent a lot of his younger years playing Little League baseball. As the years went by and he started shooting on our high school team, you could see rifle had become his favorite sport. He had set his sights on becoming the best he could be on our rifle team. He watched the older, more advanced shooters, and he learned from them. He worked hard and he put in the extra practices to improve his shot routine. He was the first person at practice and the last person to leave. His family's very supportive of him, so he bought an air rifle and set up an air range at his house so he could spend more time practicing. He started shooting year-round by going to summer indoor and outdoor matches to get more experience. He would go to Camp Perry, Ohio. He would compete at the National Air Rifle matches, which would be 3 or 4 days, and he would stay a week longer to attend their summer camp. At that camp, he was able to experience university, like collegiate level camp, and interact with collegiate coaches. He learned to think about his shot process and how to work on things that would ultimately improve his score. His willingness to learn, listen to his coaches, and to their ideas helped him to grow. And he opened his mind to learning the mental side of our sport. He has worked hard for the past 4 years to become the top shooter on our team. And his academics, well, that speaks volumes too. He does extremely well in the classroom. I believe he is ranked 4th in his class. He is that student athlete that every coach hopes for. In addition to the rifle team, he's a member of the golf team, he's a member of the National Honor Society, a member of Student Council, and he's the vice president of his class. For his stats for the year, he's a 4-year letterman. He's been a member of our state team for 4 years. He has contributed to every varsity score this year. He had the highest individual score for the last 2 seasons. His individual score for this year was a 286 out of a possible 300 with an average of a 282.5. He is a 4-time Pennsylvania State Junior Olympic qualifier for the Junior Olympics in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He is a 2020 Pennsylvania State Junior Olympic rifle champion in the men's individual air rifle match. He's the NRA 4-position junior sectional silver medalist. And he helped lead the DuBois Area High School to a 2nd place finish at our state championship match this year in both small bore and air rifle. He was also a co-captain of the team, and he was last year's MVP. This young man has worked hard to attain all these awards. He has the determination, the discipline, the work ethic, and the commitment that it takes to become the exceptional shooter and the exceptional high academic student that he has become. His desire to continue his shooting at the collegiate level has become a reality. He has accepted an appointment to the United States Coast Guard Academy, and he will also be a member of the Coast Guard rifle team. It was a pleasure and an honor to be able to coach him and to play a small part in his high school days. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019-2020 rifle team most valuable player is Mr. Keith Vitola. Congratulations, Keith, for all your achievements.
Thank you, Joanne, and congratulations to Keith. Next up is boys soccer and head coach Matt Erickson.
I'd like to start off, also by thanking Mr. Farah, Kim Yanolitis, mostly for putting up with me throughout the season. I love to show up in their office and give them a hard time as much as possible. I'd like to thank all the other coaches up here too. I know it's not easy putting in the hard work. Curious where all these coaches managed to get haircuts in the past couple of days before they showed up, with the exception of Coach Bundy, of course. We know where he got his. I'm right behind you, bud. Also like to throw a shout out to Coach Marshall for somehow managing to sneak in a Chumbawamba reference into this. I'm sure the athletes don't know who that is, but you can ask your parents. Since I began as a coach here at DuBois in 2005, our boys soccer MVP has gone through a lot of different styles of players over every different position on the field. The two things that all of our MVPs have had in common is that they've all been good leaders on our team and that they've all been seniors. For the first time this year in 20 years, and only the second time in our 34-season history, we awarded our MVP to a junior. This season, our MVP led our team with 14 goals. 4 of those goals were game-winning goals. One of his most notable games was an away game in Bradford. He had a goal and he had a goal and an assist just in the first half, or in the second half, while we were trailing by 2-0. So going into overtime then, we knew that we had the momentum. We'd scored 2 goals in the second half, and it didn't take him very long to work with his teammates and to put the ball in the back of the net to score us an overtime goal and victory. As well as leading our teams in goals, he also had 20 assists this season, which is the first time in over a decade we had a player reach that benchmark. 3 of those assists were also for game-winning goals. So after 4 game-winning goals and 3 game-winning assists, of our 10 wins throughout the season, he was involved in 7 of those wins with a winning goal. Although his stats were the best that we've had in over a decade, wasn't the only basis for him to receive the MVP this year. His attitude and skill combined has inspired many players on our team, as well as our middle school program and our youth programs. His ability to set the right example and demonstrate incredible work ethic has been the epitome of leadership on our team. His leadership, dedication to his teammates, abilities on the field, and his passion for the game, combined with his positive attitude and academic accomplishments, are still only a small part of why he received our MVP award this year. I really look forward to seeing where the student athlete goes in the future, and certainly hope to have him for one more season this fall. So congratulations to this year's boys MVP, Nick Greco.
Thank you, Matt, and congratulations to Nick. Next up, we have boys swimming and diving, and welcoming back Coach Mike Gressler.
I'm going to raise this back up here. On the boys' side of swimming and diving, our MVP had a very interesting season. Last year, he was a PIAA qualifier, making it as an at-large qualifier after tying for the District 9 championship in the 100 freestyle. This year, going into the season, we knew the goal was not just to qualify for PIAA, but actually to go there and try to get a top 16 finish in at least 1, if not 2 events. Now, he has taken on the persona of a sprinter. He just wants to race. He just wants to go fast. He may only want to do a handful of 50 freestyles in practice, but each one is going to be at absolute top speed, knowing in that 50 freestyle, everything has to be perfect every time. Each one needs to be a rehearsal for that final swim, whether it be at districts or hopefully PIAA. He finished no worse than second in any individual race this season. As I said, he loves to compete. He loves to race. At the District 9 Championship this year, he was the District 9 champion in the 100 freestyle. He was runner-up in the 50 freestyle, part of the 200 freestyle relay, and 400 freestyle relays that were also runners-up. And all those runner-up races were PIAA qualifiers. So he is a 4-event PIAA qualifier. And unfortunately for us this year, our sports championship was canceled due to the pandemic. We were scheduled to begin the 2-day meet on a Friday and Saturday. We went down for registration on Thursday, and while at that registration, so we got to Bucknell, we're in the field house awaiting our deck passes whenever the meet director calls the coaches over and tells us the meet has been postponed. I can't say that it was a surprise, but it was pretty sad, heartbreaking to hear that actually take place. So I had to go and tell the boys that we were going to have to go home. And they were all down and sad, but I said, guys, just because we are missing out on this school and what we want to do, what we were going to do here at the state meet, we can still achieve one of our other goals. So on the way home, we stopped at Five Guys, and it was quite delicious. Following that, the question is, what do we do? Our state meet is postponed. We don't know if it's going to take place in 2 weeks, if it's going to take place at all. And I told the boys on the trip home, guys, tomorrow for practice, you make a decision if you want to show up or if you just need a day to decompress mentally, to just get your head around things that are going on. And I remember I received a message after we had got back and the boys were picked up. Said, Coach, what are we doing tomorrow? He was ready to go. He was ready for practice the next day, ready to continue working for that opportunity if it would show up. And real proud of him, what he was able to do this year. Really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in the future. He's a hard worker. He's going to do very well. Our MVP on the boys' side is Tucker Fenstermacher.
Thank you once again, Coach Gressler, and congratulations to Tucker. Our final boys MVP award is wrestling, and it's the Jack Sullivan Award, and head coach Ed Scott.
First of all, I want to say to all the athletes and students that I am sorry that we have to make this a virtual presentation and miss you being here in person with your friends and family. But I want to remind you of a wise man saying, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. So what are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? You know, work hard. Who's going to be next year's MVPs? Okay. There's opportunity right now. Do better in school. Let's be thankful for our administration and athletic department for finding a way to recognize the efforts of our student athletes. So Mrs. Benton, Mr. Weible, Mr. Farah, and all the staff, thank you. I also need to take this opportunity to thank a few people who are pivotal in helping me have a smooth transition into the head coaching position this year. Coach Bundy, you were instrumental. You said, be ready for all the little things that as an assistant coach I never see. And boy, I had a handful this year, right? I'd walk down the hallway to practice and you're like, are you ready today? And I'm like, yep, I have everything scheduled out. But you kind of always have a plan. You just never know where that plan's going to go every day. You hope to get through it. I also like to thank my assistant coaches, Garrett Brown and Tony Gear. Garrett Brown and Tony Gear were basically like our sports psychologists this year. They had to deal with a lot of little issues with things, and I'm really thankful for those guys. They were two volunteer assistant coaches who were always there. And I'll also like to thank Denny Nosker, my assistant coach. He was instrumental. He's the head coach before, so I leaned on him a lot this year. And he's probably the best, you know, as far as dole meets and trying to figure out like how many points we need being a math teacher. It's very helpful to have him in our corner. The Jack Sullivan Award is given to the most valuable wrestler on the team. Jack Sullivan, who graduated from DuBois in 1941, was a state champ, class valedictorian, and president of the senior class. So to earn this award, we look at academics, leadership, and practice room, leadership in the practice room, and of course, success on the mat. We had several candidates who fit this criteria, and on many years, we would have been honored here tonight. This year's selection for the Jack Sullivan MVP Award showed leadership daily in the wrestling room by helping everyone with technique, and also many times us coaches. He has a 3.55 GPA while taking accelerated science classes with many honor and AP courses here at DuBois. His mat prowess speaks for itself. I will try to be brief, but it's not going to be easy. He's a 4-time Eastern Area Wrestling Champion. He's a 2-time Powerade Champion, a 4-time District 9 Champion, and he was the most outstanding wrestler in the 2020 tournament. He's a 4-time Northwest AAA regional champion, a 4-time PIAA state qualifier. He was 3rd in 2017 as a freshman. He was 1st in 2019 as a junior with a record of 39-0. He was 1st in 2020 as a senior. He was 40-0 record. He also received at states this year the Michael L. Smith AAA Most Falls Award in the least amount of time. He's DuBois' first ever 2-time state champion. He has a career record of 151-6, which is the most wins in DuBois history. He holds the District 9 record for the most falls at 105. He's named to the 2020 USA Wrestling's High School All-American team, and he'll be wrestling at NC State on a scholarship this next year. They're thinking about 149 pounds for him. With this, I would like to, the recipient of the 2020 Jack Sullivan Award is Ed Scott.
Thank you, Coach Scott, and congratulations to Ed. I know Coach Scott was a little reluctant to give the speech on his son. It's hard to talk about your own kids sometimes, but I think anybody who follows wrestling knows that Ed deserved that award more than probably anybody in maybe school history. He's really done a lot of great things here for our school over the years. And good luck to Ed next year and the following years at NC State. Next up in the program, we're going to have our Leadership and Athletic Awards. Each year we choose a female and male athlete for our Leadership and Athletics Award. This award, which is voted on by our coaches, is typically presented to a multi-sport athlete who has shown tremendous leadership in their chosen sports and in the school atmosphere. This year's recipients were both 3-sport athletes and have shown tremendous leadership in their time here at DuBois Area High School. Our female recipient of the Leadership and Athletic Award has competed in cross-country, swimming, and track and field. On the playing field, she was a solid performer in all 3 sports. She was a key member of both the girls' cross-country team and swimming teams that each finished second at the District 6-9 AAA Championships this year. And unfortunately, she didn't get to compete in track and field this spring. One of her coaches described her as saying, "While not a vocal leader, she leads by example with her hard work and dedication." Another coach described her as a no-nonsense competitor that's mentally strong and works for the team. She's a member of the National Honor Society, was on the homecoming court, and is ranked in the top 15 of her class. She plans to attend the University of Scranton to major in biology and go to medical school. The DuBois Area High School Athletic Department is proud to present its Leadership and Athletic Award for 2020 to Miss Ashley Eustatis. Congratulations, Ashley. Our male award winner has been a leader both on and off the playing field as well. He competed in football, basketball, and baseball. He was a 3-year starter in all 3 sports and has earned numerous accolades and all-star selections over his career, including being a 2-time All-State selection in football. This year, he was also named the District 9 Basketball League Player of the Year after earning his 2nd straight league honor there. He was also named the league's Defensive Player of the Year. He was a recipient of the Scholar Athlete Award by the Central Pennsylvania chapter of the National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame. He's a member of the National Honor Society, Student Council, Interact Club. He helps out the Little Dribblers program and is also ranked in the top 5 of his class. His coaches have described him as exceptional in every way, that he's the ultimate leader and teammate, that leadership and maturity make him so much older than he really is. He's everything you could ask for in a student athlete. Another said that he's dependable, willing to do whatever the team needs to have success. This coach said he came to practice every day with this mindset that I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. He set a great example for the younger players by always having a positive attitude, even when things weren't going his way. After graduation, this year's recipient plans to attend Juniata College for pre-med and will also play basketball there. The DuBois Area High School Athletic Department is proud to present its Leadership and Athletics Award for 2020 to Mr. Chase Husted. Congratulations once again to Chase. Next up is our Coach of the Year Award. Coach of the Year Award is called the Stephen Black Memorial Coach of the Year. Steve Black was a health teacher and head basketball coach at DuBois Area School District. His overall career coaching record was 81-18 as he coached championship teams from 1957 to 1961. The recipient of the Stephen Black Award characterized his spirit and dedication while instructing our student athletes. The 2020 recipient is just in his second year coaching at DuBois Area High, but has made a huge impact in those 2 years. He led his team to a 15-9 record and a playoff appearance in his first year. This year, he led the Beavers to a 19-4 record, the most wins in the program in the last 20 years, and another playoff berth. Along the way, he was named the Tri-County Area Coach of the Year, and this award is voted on by his peers. And tonight, I'm extremely proud to present the 2020 Stephen Black Memorial Coach of the Year Award to boys basketball coach Dave Bennett. Next is our Athletic Appreciation Award, and presenting this award will be Mr. Chuck Pasternak.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations to all our award winners this evening. It has been an absolute pleasure to watch you compete in your various sports, and I wish you all nothing but the best in all future endeavors. Each year, we present the Athletic Appreciation Award to an individual who exhibits extraordinary support and has had a tremendous overall impact on our district's athletic programs. This year's recipient has certainly checked both of those boxes for many, many years. Our latest recipient is a great personal friend of mine and an outstanding colleague of all of us here at the high school. I met this individual through our participation in youth sports a little over 40 years ago, and our friendship truly blossomed when we began our teaching and coaching careers together here at DuBois High School back in 1993. This man was a multi-sport athlete here at DuBois High School in the mid-'80s. He has lived his entire life in our community. Because of this, I know that he has always felt a great deal of pride and appreciation in having the opportunity to serve our students in both the classroom and on the athletic field. This pride and passion for our students, our school, and our entire community has always fueled his drive to be an outstanding math teacher, as well as a coach and mentor of our youth. He has been a coach at all levels in both the boys and girls basketball programs, was also even a very successful tennis coach here at one time, which many may not remember. More recently, perhaps his greatest contribution has been as a supporter for all of our programs. Over the years, he has been a fixture at just about every sporting event, serving as either a fan, a game worker, booster club member, and without a doubt, his proudest role of all, as a dad cheering on Gabby and Isaac. A few years ago, he came to some of us with an idea of how to honor our greatest teams and athletes throughout the rich history of athletics here in this district. That idea was, of course, to create the DuBois Area High School Sports Hall of Fame. He recruited a bunch of us to form a committee and help fulfill his vision of establishing this hall. Each year since 2015, we have accepted nominations. We've inducted many former DuBois Area High School greats, some in attendance here this evening, into this Hall of Honor. Those of us who sit on this committee alongside John have done the easy part of reviewing nominations and voting, while he has done the hard part. Many of you may not know this, but John himself, as a true labor of love for our athletic programs and our school, is the man who makes this all possible. I can't even begin to suggest the exact number, but I would guess it's in the hundreds or even thousands, the number of hours that he has spent on the microfilm machine at the DuBois Public Library, scouring through old newspapers, doing all the research that is involved in identifying past athletes and teams that are worthy of consideration for this prestigious honor. Unfortunately, as you guys know, not everything today can be, or not everything through our history can be found in a Google search as it is today. With all of this in mind, we want to show our appreciation for all that he has done over the years for our athletic programs. On behalf of all DuBois Area High School coaches, fans, and athletes of both past and present, it is my tremendous honor to represent our athletic department in presenting the annual Athletic Appreciation Award to our good friend and colleague, Mr. John Wayne. Congratulations, buddy. We are all thinking of you, we're praying for you, and we're wishing you a speedy recovery so that you can rejoin us soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pasternak, and congratulations to Mr. Wayne once again, a very well-deserved honor. Next up, we'll be doing our special presentations of scholarships and other awards. And up first will be Chuck Bechtel Track Scholarship Award and Mr. Brian Klinger.
I would first like to start by congratulating all the student athletes for all their accomplishments this year. I also would like to wish good luck to all your future endeavors. Second, I would like to take this time to thank our superintendent, Mrs. Benton, assistant superintendent, Dr. Matson, building principal, Brian Weible, and Mr. Pasternak, athletic director, Mr. Farah, athletic secretary, Mrs. Johnalitis, and our school board members for their support. I also like to thank the Chuck Bechtel Trust Fund that helps provide this scholarship yearly for a track and field athlete. This wouldn't be possible without everyone's help throughout the track and field season, so thank you. It is my privilege tonight to present the Chuck Bechtel Track and Field Award to an outstanding track and field athlete. Chuck Bechtel, a graduate in 1959, participated in track and field, basketball, and baseball. He was a standout in sports and excelled in athletics and academics at a high level. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in electrical engineering and believed academics and athletics were an important part to building a well-rounded young adult. Chuck was described as an athlete who excelled in both track and field and academics and displayed leadership characteristics among his teammates and peers. The athlete that will be receiving this award tonight by far meets these standards. Here are some of his accomplishments. Honor roll student, 3.6 GPA, dual enrollment at Penn State, all academic gold team, 3-time letter winner in track and field, Mr. and Miss DuBois participant, student council member, Special Olympics helper. He will be continuing his career at Teal College, where he will be playing football and majoring in business financing. And the Chuck Bechtel Track and Field Award goes to Jackson Pletcher.
Thank you, Coach Klinger, and congratulations, Jackson. Next up is our Josh Martino Scholarship Award, and presenting that will be Karen Perry and Pam Murdoch.
Hello, I am Karen Perry. I'm the mother of Lance Corporal Josh Martino. Josh is a United States Marine Corps mortarman and graduated from DuBois Area High School in 2012. We are so pleased to announce this 8th scholarship year that there will be 3 $1,500 scholarships. These are made possible by everyone's generosity and the annual Lance Corporal Josh Martino Memorial Golf Classic that we hold. This year has been very trying on all the seniors, and we thank them all so much for their applications and their essays.
Good evening. I am Pam Murdoch, and I was Josh's aunt. Congratulations to the class of 2020 and to all of tonight's award winners. Josh achieved his dream of becoming a United States Marine just 4 months after his 2012 graduation. With support from the DuBois community and surrounding communities and the annual golf tournament, the Josh Martino Athletic Scholarship was established not only to honor Josh's life and his memory, but to assist student athletes as they begin their journey to achieve their dreams. To qualify for this scholarship, a student must participate in interscholastic athletics, complete an application including a short essay and 1 recommendation. The anonymous applications are then received by the family. The 3 student athletes receiving this scholarship tonight have excelled not only in the classroom, but have participated in interscholastic athletics, are active in their communities, and have jobs. We were told of many unselfish acts that Josh had performed, and therefore we asked the applicants to write a short essay describing an unselfish act that they had participated in. All 3 described unselfish acts of going out of their way to benefit others without expecting favors in return. It gives us great pleasure tonight to present the Josh Martino Athletic Scholarships to Madison Cable, who will be attending Clarion University, to Felicity Unseki, who will be attending Penn State University, and to Chase Houston, who will be attending Juniata College. Best wishes as you embark on your journey to achieve your dreams, and to all in the class of 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam and Karen, and congratulations to our award winners there. The next 2 scholarships will be the DuBois Area Touchdown Scholarship and the Wendy Meehan Memorial Scholarships. They will be presented by Booster Club members Melissa Linkenfelder and Jen Marsico and Coach Justin Marshall.
Good evening. Congratulations, class of 2020 and all of the award winners tonight. Tonight, we represent the DuBois Area Touchdown Club. We are presenting 2 $500 scholarships to 2 deserving seniors and a $250 scholarship in memory of Wendy Meehan. For the first 2 scholarships, our criteria is the following. You must complete your senior year playing football for the DuBois football team, present an acceptance letter from a college or tech school, and they are also chosen on their GPA, class rank, and an essay on how football has impacted their life, how they may have impacted others' lives through football, and their involvement with football boosters and other community activities. Tonight, I am honored to present these scholarship awards to 2 fine men who have shared their talents, drive, and dedication both on and off the field. Our first recipient we are proud to present is to Nick DeLulu. We are proud to present the second scholarship to Alex Kavaliak. The Wendy Meehan Scholarship was created by the DuBois Area Touchdown Club to recognize a kind, giving, and hardworking woman who, if it was not for her, we would not have the booster club that we have today. Wendy loved watching our team play, and she loved spoiling our players. Her motto was, "We've got it, spend it." Her biggest love was her 2 boys, Caleb and Cole, who both played for DuBois High School. Wendy was incredibly proud of how they always made every single player feel comfortable, welcomed, and a part of the team, no matter their age or level. This scholarship is chosen by the coaches based on who they feel proved to be a true mentor, showed the most care and concern for the players, as well as ensured all players were included and felt like a part of the team. Coach Marshall has a few words and will present the next award.
So our scholarship winner tonight, you've heard his name a couple of times, more than a couple of times at this point. I run out of things to say as far as bragging about this young man. He embodies everything that you could want in a student athlete. He embodies everything that I want for my kids, and I'm sure that many others who know him want. As far as being a role model and including kids and just everything that embodies a student athlete here at DuBois area, there's no better example. And his parents are going to have to build him a bigger bedroom after tonight with all the hardware he's taken home, but he certainly is deserving. Our Wendy Meehan Scholarship Award winner is Chase Husted.
Thank you again, Melissa, Jen, and Coach Marshall. And congratulations to Nick, Alex, and Chase. Next up is our Boys Basketball Booster Club Scholarship and head coach Dave Bennett.
So for the Boys Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, we might as well just stay on the theme of the night. And that would be the first recipient. We have two recipients of this scholarship award. And the first, you've heard so many glowing things. And I will say, if you know the young man, it's all warranted. And there's probably a lot more to him than what you've already heard. He's already been awarded our John Cleese MVP award. He's ranked top 5 in a class, 4.0 student, going to Juniata College, majoring in pre-med and to play basketball. The first recipient is Chase Husted. Now, our second recipient, unique situation. I thought Coach Marshall really described this young man very well. When he talked about the adversity the young man faced and the injury and mentoring and helping his replacement and doing whatever was necessary for the team, still showing up to practice. Now, fast forward, this person, that's in football season. Injury happens in football season. That football's his passion. There's no question about it. And then we moved to basketball season, where we expected him to be a very big part of our team this year on the floor. What ultimately happened is he was a big part of our team off the floor. So now ACL surgery, out for the season, no question that he'd be unable to play for us this season, but he never missed a practice during basketball season. He came, he helped the other young men, the other juniors, sophomores on our team and in our program. He ran the clock. He kept us on time, on schedule, which sometimes that's hard to keep me on time and on schedule, but he did a great job of it. Basically did whatever he could to help improve our program. Showed incredible leadership in the locker room, on the bench with people when it was a season that he knew he wasn't going to be able to actively participate on the floor. But his leadership was a huge benefit to our program and our coaching staff and all the players. Our second scholarship award recipient is Alex Kavaliak.
Thanks once again, Coach Bennett, and congratulations to Chase and Alex. Our next two scholarships were wrestling scholarship is the Don Schobert Memorial Scholarship and the Pete Morelli Charitable Fund Scholarship. And presenting those will be Luke Bundy.
Okay, first up, the Don Schobert Memorial Scholarship was established a few years back after the passing of Don Schobert. Coached here for many years through our DuBois Wrestling Booster Club. He was the coach that was responsible for establishing the DuBois area high school wrestling tradition and really getting it started and putting us on the map. So when it comes to embodying team and responsibility and looking out for your teammates, the recipient is probably one of the best examples of that. My 3 years of coaching him, or actually 2 years, and then Coach Scott took over. He went down in weight. He went up in weight. He sacrificed his own personal gain in wins and losses for the betterment of the team. And that embodies what Coach Gilbert was all about when he established his rules and tradition here for the sport of DuBois wrestling. So this year's recipient is Gage Galvis. The second wrestling scholarship here is the Pete Morelli Charitable Fund Scholarship. Earlier, we had the wrestling MVP was Ed Scott. You heard all the accolades. You know, the best wrestler probably to ever set foot in this high school, hands down, no questions asked. But why he's going to win this scholarship is because if you knew Pete, Pete loved the sport of wrestling. He was intense. And he would be probably Ed's biggest fan as it came to the style of wrestling he had, the intensity that he brought to practice every day. And Pete would have been there in a corner loving every minute of it. So there's no better recipient for the Pete Morelli Charitable Fund Scholarship than Ed Scott.
Thank you, Coach Bundy, and congratulations to Gage and Ed. Next up is our U.S. Marines Distinguished Athlete Awards. And presenting those will be Sergeant Justin Jeffcoat.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight. So these awards are to recognize the superior athletic accomplishments of two students. We require our Marines to be in their absolute top physical condition in order for the Marine Corps to be successful in its missions. The Marine Corps realizes that the foundation for good physical fitness is laid in the high school athletic organizations. In addition to good training habits, high school athletes are well aware of teamwork and discipline, two important elements in the makeup of a Marine. For this reason, the United States Marine Corps takes pleasure in supporting high school athletics by presenting the Distinguished Athlete Award. This year's recipients, who are recognized for displaying courage, poise, self-confidence, and leadership as a high school athlete, are Felicity Nseki and Chase Houston.
Thank you, Sergeant Jeffcoat, and congratulations once again to Chase and Felicity. Next up is our Randy Curley Memorial Scholarship, and presenting that will be Randy Curley, Jr.
I'd like to first thank the DuBois Area School District, the administration, and actually the whole surrounding area. This is their second year for this scholarship. If everyone here, from the looks of it at least, I knew my father. He was always a generous man. Put everyone before him, no matter what that took, and to make sure everyone around him was happy. And I'm just glad that we're able to continue to the tradition to hopefully provide a better future for our students and our surrounding area. For that being said, we were able to provide two $1,000 scholarships this year for student body. To qualify for our scholarship, you had to be a student athlete, a Boy Scout, as my father was always big into Boy Scouting, or in the band. That, and you had to provide us with brief essay on what you embodied, selflessness, what characters you thought were going to help you into the future to be a better person and strive on wherever you were going to go in life. There was a lot of hard decisions to make. Actually, both these names we've heard tonight. One we've heard a lot, so I feel like we made some good choices. So our winners of the scholarships, first we had Sydney Cashawk, and then also Chase Houston.
Thank you, Randy, and congratulations, Chase and Sydney. Our final award of the evening is the Rifle Scholarship, and presenting that will be Amy Fatula.
Good evening. I am the president of the I work at Penn State. I'm the president of the DuBois Area High School Rifle Boosters, and I'm pleased here to present the second annual Rifle Booster Scholarship. The Rifle Boosters have made it a priority to support the young men and women on the team, as well as the coaches throughout the season, and we have found over the last several years that we do have the ability to support one deserving senior each year as they continue into their post-high school experience. As part of the application process, the seniors are required to provide academic, service, and extracurricular information. This information, in conjunction with an essay, allows us to select the recipient. The essay asks the student to explain what life lessons they have learned and will continue to use in their future based on their experience with the rifle team. This year's recipient stated that over the last 4 years, I have learned a lot from rifle. One of the biggest things was perseverance. Each shot that is shot is gone in a second, and nothing you can do to change that. Not every shot is going to be perfect. You will not be happy all of the time, but you can always calm yourself and make the next shot count. The recipient exemplified perseverance and maturity on the range. She sought and received support from her teammates and coaches. She challenged herself in rifle, school, and work. She proved herself to be a leader, as a co-captain. I'm proud to present this year's $500 rifle scholarship to Cassie Uplinger. She will continue to persevere through college as she has done in high school. She has the determination to do so, as stated in her essay. Just like rifle, in life, all you need is some motivation and a goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, and congratulations to Cassie. In closing, I would like to extend some special thank yous to those who helped us put this program together tonight. Brendan and Mandy Bell. Brendan came in and helped us with the sound tonight, along with Mandy, and she's running the slideshow for us. Also to Linda Rankus, who helped Kim with this PowerPoint presentation tonight and getting the photos. Linda does a great job in the school doing that all year round. And to Coach Dave Martin, who is running the camera and helping us put this video presentation together. So thank you to them. Also, special thanks to Mr. Weible, Mr. Pasternak, for their leadership and guidance and their support and friendship all year long. And they will attest that I spent a lot of time in their office throughout the years, getting advice and venting sometimes. And a special thank you goes out to our athletic secretary, Kim Ionolitis, with help putting this program together tonight, and for her hard work and dedication to our athletic program all year long, and for putting up with me throughout the year. Also to our assistant athletic director, Andy Ettinger. Andy does a great job working at the middle school with our athletes down there and also helping assist here at the high school as well. A special thank you as well to our district administration and our school board for their continued support of interscholastic athletics. Obviously, nothing would be possible without their support. Lastly, I'd like to thank all our athletes, and I wish them success in the future, and to their parents for everything they do in support of their athletes. Our coaches, volunteers who put in countless hours and time providing the opportunities for our kids. And thank them all for an exciting and eventful year. And thank you once again, for all of you, for attending and tuning in to view our 2020 DuBois Area Athletic Awards Ceremony. Thank you.